There's a painful truth most men never realize until it's far too late. You can't make a woman miss you by chasing her. You make her miss you by disappearing when she expects you to stay. Because nothing unsettles a woman more than the silence of a man who once made her feel something real. The kind of silence that lingers in her mind long after the messages stop. Most men believe effort equals attraction. They text more, call more, explain more, trying to rebuild a connection that's already slipping away. But psychology doesn't reward desperation. The moment you begin to prove your worth to her, she subconsciously starts believing she's worth more than you. She feels your imbalance. She senses your fear of losing her. And fear is never attractive. A woman's emotions don't bond to predictability. They bond to contrast, the tension between comfort and uncertainty, the rise and fall that keeps her heart alert. When you're always there, she doesn't wonder. When you're constantly available, she doesn't daydream. She knows where you are, how you feel, and that knowledge kills mystery. Certainty makes her feel safe, but safety isn't what keeps her awake at night thinking of you. It's the mystery that does. A woman's mind is wired to chase answers, to analyze tone, timing, silence, and distance. So when you stop feeding her validation, her brain starts searching for patterns that aren't there. That confusion is emotional gravity. That's when she replays the memories, the small gestures, the tone of your voice. She begins to question her own choices. That's when she starts missing you, not because you vanished, but because she can't fully understand why she feels your absence so deeply. You see, missing someone isn't about love alone. It's about emotional residue. It's the echo of feelings left unfinished. Every woman has felt that. The pull toward a man she thought she was over, the one whose silence was louder than another man's words. That's not manipulation, that's psychology. The human mind attaches to unanswered emotion. When you walk away with peace instead of panic, you become unforgettable. Because your restraint communicates something words never could, that your self-respect is stronger than your need for approval, and that shakes her. Women remember the men who made them feel both safe and challenged, desired yet uncertain. The ones who could love her deeply but still walk away when disrespected. The moment you stop chasing, you shift from emotional follower to emotional leader. She starts to sense that you have a world beyond her, a purpose she's no longer the center of, and that stirs something primal, curiosity. Who's he thinking about? Is he moving on? Did I lose him? That's how attraction reignites, not through words, but through imagination. The truth is, women don't miss the man who gave them everything on demand. They miss the man who made them feel something powerful, then disappeared just long enough for those feelings to echo back. She doesn't crave attention. She craves emotional stimulation. When you withdraw calmly, without bitterness, you become that emotional question she can't stop trying to solve. So stop explaining your worth. Stop proving your intentions. Start embodying calm detachment. Because when your silence comes from confidence, not games, she feels it. Your stillness becomes magnetic. She senses you're no longer controlled by her approval. And that reversal of energy makes her curious, even if she tries to ignore it. Remember, real attraction is not built in her eyes when she sees you. It's built in her mind when she can't stop imagining you. Desire begins in absence. The less you say, the more she thinks. The less you reveal, the more she feels. When you walk away, don't do it to punish her. Do it to preserve yourself. Detachment is not cruelty, it's clarity. You're showing her that your peace is more valuable than her attention. And ironically, that's what makes you the kind of man she starts to value again. Because respect always precedes desire. When she respects you, she can't help but feel drawn back. Stay still long enough and her emotions will chase what her logic tried to dismiss. So ask yourself right now, if you stopped chasing, if you truly detached and focused on your purpose, could she even recognize this version of you? Or would she feel that unfamiliar ache, the one that says she lost something she didn't appreciate? Let that question sink in, because that's where missing you truly begins. Most men think attraction fades because she found someone better. But the truth is, she simply stopped feeling something deep enough to remember. Women don't miss men who gave them constant reassurance. They miss men who left a mark inside their mind, not through pain, but through emotional imprinting. That's the secret every man who becomes unforgettable understands, even if he never speaks it aloud. Emotional imprinting isn't about manipulation or control. It's about creating moments that touch her on a level logic can't explain. When a woman thinks about a man, she doesn't remember every word he said. She remembers how he made her feel. That's what she replays when she's alone at night, scrolling through old pictures, pretending she doesn't care. She remembers his energy, his tone, the quiet confidence that made her feel something she can't recreate with anyone else. To make a woman miss you, you must understand one thing. Her emotions live in the details. The tone of your voice when you said her name, the way you looked at her before you spoke, the calm silence you carried when others got reactive. Those moments become anchors in her memory, triggers she can't predict but can't escape. You don't need to impress her with grand gestures. That fades. You need to leave subtle impressions, the ones that slip into her subconscious. When you give her your full presence without trying to win her, you stand out from every man who needs her validation to feel valuable. She starts associating you with something rare, peace. And peace is addictive, especially for a woman used to emotional chaos. But here's what most men do wrong. They give everything too soon. They reveal their feelings too fast. They pour their soul out before she's even earned that level of emotional access. That doesn't build connection, it kills it. Because the human mind doesn't value what comes too easily. It values what it has to slowly uncover. The key to emotional imprinting is tension, the kind of emotional rhythm that keeps her both safe and intrigued. You show interest, but not obsession. You listen, but don't over-explain. You reveal pieces of yourself, then retreat just enough to make her wonder what you're thinking. This back and forth creates depth. It's not about games. It's about letting her experience the contrast of having you and then missing you. Psychology calls it emotional conditioning. The more she associates you with strong emotion, laughter, curiosity, peace, or even the frustration of wanting more, the more her brain ties those emotions to you. That's how a bond forms, even when you're not around. Here's something most men overlook. Silence is emotional power. When you stop explaining yourself, you force her mind to fill in the blanks. And her imagination will always paint you as more intriguing than reality ever could. If you argue, she defends herself. But if you go quiet and live your life, she reflects. That reflection is where missing you grows. A woman doesn't miss the man who begged for her attention. She misses the man who walked away calmly, who respected himself enough not to fight for temporary comfort. That kind of man triggers curiosity first, then regret, because she starts to see him everywhere, in songs, in memories, in moments when she least expects it. That's the echo of emotional imprinting. So how do you create that kind of presence? You focus on becoming emotionally centered. Your energy should feel grounded, not needy. When you speak, speak slowly. When you walk, move with intention. When you look at her, let it be with calm confidence, not expectation. These small details send subconscious signals of strength. They tell her, you're dealing with a man who doesn't chase approval. He creates gravity. Over time, she begins to realize something strange. No matter who she meets, no matter how much attention she gets, something feels missing. That something is the way she felt around you, that mix of calm and intensity. You became the standard her emotions still measure against, even when she pretends you don't exist. And the beautiful part is, you didn't have to manipulate anything. You just stopped being reactive. You gave her space to feel your absence. You gave her something real, then took it away with quiet dignity. That's how emotional imprinting works. Not through words, but through presence, energy, and boundaries. When she realizes she can't recreate the feeling you gave her, she'll start to miss you even if she doesn't want to. Because missing someone isn't a choice, it's a chemical reaction. Her mind searches for the emotional pattern it once had with you, and when it can't find it, the craving begins. So remember this, Never try to be the man she wants in the moment. Be the man she can't forget in her silence, the one who left her with a feeling she still can't name. Tell me, have you ever had a woman come back just when you stopped caring? Comment your answer below. And if this hit something deep, like, share, and subscribe so more men can finally understand the psychology behind being missed. Emotional detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you finally stop bleeding for people who never deserved your blood in the first place. Most men misunderstand this. They think detachment means coldness, arrogance, or indifference. But true detachment is quiet power. It's being so grounded in who you are that no woman, no rejection, no silence can shake your inner peace. And that's exactly why it drives women crazy, because they can't control it. See, most of the time, when a woman loses interest, she expects you to react, to chase, to explain yourself, to beg for closure. That's the emotional script she's used to. She pulls away, you panic, and suddenly she has emotional control. But when you break that pattern, when you respond with calm distance instead of desperate energy, it rewrites her perception of you. You no longer play the role of the needy pursuer. You become the mystery she didn't see coming. Women are emotional readers. They sense energy faster than words. So when your energy shifts, when you stop reaching out, when you stop seeking reassurance, when your tone changes from "I need you" to "I'm at peace with myself," something inside her begins to turn. It's not instant, it's subtle, but slowly she starts to feel what you used to feel: uncertainty. And uncertainty is the foundation of attraction. Detachment is not about punishing her, it's about protecting your value. You can't make anyone miss you if your energy screams, "I'm lost without you." The moment you anchor your emotions in her validation, you hand over your power. But when you find strength in solitude, something magical happens. You shift from being one of many men who want her to the one man who doesn't need her. That difference is magnetic, because women don't just want a man, they want to feel something profound around a man. And nothing feels more profound than presence mixed with restraint. The kind of presence that says, "I see you, I appreciate you, but I don't depend on you." That energy is rare. It's what makes a woman replay your moments in her mind long after you've gone quiet. When you detach, you stop reacting to her behavior. You stop texting to get a response. You stop explaining to be understood. You realize that her silence is her message, and you respect it. You don't chase closure, because closure isn't something she gives you. It's something you give yourself. And when you operate from that mindset, she feels your shift. Your detachment isn't anger, it's maturity, it's peace. It's the unspoken statement, "I wanted you, but I never needed you to feel whole." That statement echoes louder in her mind than any confession of love ever could. The human mind craves what it cannot fully possess. And a man who's emotionally stable, who walks away without bitterness, who smiles while letting go, that's a man a woman can't forget, because he represents what she didn't expect: control over his emotions, even when he had every reason to lose them. Every woman who once lost interest has had that moment later, lying in bed, scrolling through old messages, realizing the man she thought she replaced didn't come back, didn't chase, didn't crumble. That realization triggers something she can't explain, a mix of admiration, confusion, and regret. That's not manipulation. That's the natural consequence of your emotional growth. When you detach, you create space for her to feel, and in that silence, she starts to remember. The way your presence grounded her, the way your calm made her feel safe, the way your absence now makes her uneasy. She'll start testing you. Maybe a message, a subtle like, a casual, "Hey, how have you been?" But you'll know better now. You won't rush. You won't pour emotion where it's not reciprocated. You'll respond with warmth, but not weakness. Interest, but not investment. And that balance is what keeps her thinking about you long after the conversation ends. Because emotional detachment isn't about walking away forever. It's about reclaiming your self-control so strongly that even if she returns, she meets a man transformed. Not the version who needed her, but the version she now needs. When you master detachment, you stop being a man chasing connection and start being the connection she can't replace. That's the shift every high-value man experiences. That's the moment she realizes you were the calm she didn't appreciate until she lost it. So let me ask you something honest. If she reached out tomorrow, would you respond from emotion or from power? Would you let your old self take over, or would you hold your ground as the man who finally understands his worth? Here's the truth that separates men who get forgotten from men who stay unforgettable. A woman doesn't truly miss you when you're gone. She misses who she became when she was with you. She misses the way she felt in your presence, the reflection of herself through your calm, your mystery, your strength. And if you've mastered everything we've talked about so far, restraint, detachment, emotional presence, this is where it all comes together. This is where you transform her missing you into lasting attraction and respect. Because missing you is just the beginning. If you stop there, she'll remember you as a moment. But if you know how to handle her once she starts reaching out again, you become a standard. The man every future version of her will measure others against. And that happens when you respond not from emotion, but from mastery. Here's what most men do wrong when she returns. They rush back in, thinking her message means she wants to rebuild what they lost. But in reality, she's testing your strength, your patience, your boundaries. She wants to see if you're still the same man she could emotionally control, or if you've evolved into the one who can't be shaken, the man she now respects. When she reaches out, don't let excitement blind you. Don't overcompensate with emotion. Instead, embody calm curiosity. Respond slowly, intentionally. Make her feel your peace through your tone, your pacing, your confidence. Let her realize that she no longer defines your emotional weather. That's when her respect begins to rebuild itself. Because women are drawn not to men who give them constant attention, but to men who embody emotional consistency. A man who doesn't get thrown off when she withdraws. A man who doesn't lose control when she tests his patience. A man whose world remains stable no matter what she does. That's emotional strength, and it's intoxicating to a woman on a subconscious level. You see, when she starts to miss you, she's feeling the emotional imprint you left. But when she respects you again, she's feeling something far deeper. Safety. The kind of safety that doesn't come from chasing or proving, but from knowing. She feels safe around a man who doesn't crumble under pressure. Safe around a man who knows his worth whether she's beside him or not. When you reach that level, something powerful happens. You no longer have to prove your value. She feels it. Every word, every glance, every silence speaks for you. That's the stage where she starts trying to re-enter your life, but now from a place of humility rather than control. The best thing you can do when that happens? Don't rush the process. Let her earn her place again. Let her feel that your world didn't stop spinning without her. Continue focusing on your goals, your health, your peace, your mission. Let her see that the man she once overlooked has become even stronger, more centered, more magnetic. Because here's the paradox of attraction. When you no longer need to be chosen, you finally become irresistible. Women chase what they can feel but can't fully claim, and the moment she realizes that your validation is no longer hers by default, her emotions wake up. That's not cruelty, that's balance. You're giving her the gift of perspective, letting her see what life feels like without your presence stabilizing hers. So when she begins to reconnect, don't be the man who falls back into comfort. Be the man who embodies quiet discipline. Keep your boundaries, keep your peace sacred. Laugh more, react less. Let her rediscover you slowly, because mystery rebuilt over time is more powerful than any confession of love. In her mind, you've gone from predictable to unreadable, from needy to necessary, and that shift makes her miss not just your presence, but your leadership, your emotional strength, your ability to remain unshaken. That's when attraction evolves into admiration. And admiration is what makes a woman stay. So remember this, you can't make her miss you forever, but you can become the man she never truly gets over. The man who awakened something in her she didn't even know existed, calm intensity. Emotional gravity, quiet strength. When you reach that point, she may still try to test you. She may still pull away sometimes, but you'll no longer respond from fear. You'll respond from power, because you've learned that being missed isn't about presence. It's about the echo you leave behind when you walk away with dignity. Now it's your turn to reflect. Have you ever had a woman come back, not because she missed your body, but because she missed your energy, the peace, the calm, the mystery? Tell me your story in the comments. And if this video hit something deep, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this with a man who needs to remember. Sometimes the most powerful move isn't chasing love. It's mastering yourself.